Many of you know that Tricia, Cassidy, and I are scuba divers. One of our favorite places to dive is through the vibrant reefs in the clear blue waters of Cozumel, Mexico. Between the three of us, we have logged in a total of around 75 dives in these waters. Though each dive is unique, we pretty much know what to expect. We know the procedures we will follow. We know the visual beauty we will encounter in a living reef, as well as the vast array of extraordinarily beautiful wildlife. The weightless nature and the rhythm of our breathing creates for us a type of meditative experience. It is where we go to decompress and let the stressors of the world wash away. Not every dive we have taken in these waters has been so meditative. I want to share with you the experience we had on our first night dive. It started off like any other dive. We checked our gear. We checked each other's gear. We listened to the pre-dive briefing from our dive master. He gave us instruction for this particular destination and gave us a new lesson in nighttime flashlight etiquette. He told us to stay even closer to our dive buddy than we normally do and to not get separated from our group of 6. He reminded us about our training and how this would be a new experience for us. We were prepared for this journey. There is one piece of additional equipment that is used on night dives that is not used during the day. Each of us had on our tanks a water-activated beacon. You don't want to shine your flashlight on the other divers to find them at night. You look for their beacon of light. The last instruction the master gave us in the briefing was that his beacon was red. So if we needed him, we knew what light to look for. We were in the water. Everyone was okay, and down we went. It didn't take long, just a few minutes, to realize that things were not unfolding as planned. The current at our dive depth was flowing the wrong direction. What this created was not a blissful meditative experience, but chaos. The change in the water current had kicked up a tremendous amount of silt, which took our visibility down to about 10 or 15 feet, not the clarity of 130 to 150 feet that we were used to. The staging of each dive group was such that we would, for the most part, just see our own group of 6. The change in the current somehow brought all the groups together. We were no longer trying to keep track of our buddy and our group, but we were having to keep track of them mixed in with another 20 or so divers. I found myself in this internal struggle of trying to see the nightlife on the reef and at the same time trying to locate what was most important, my family and the dive master. I had to let go of the experience that I had dreamed about and respond to the reality in front of me. I had to stop looking for crab, octopus, and other nocturnally active creatures. And I had to focus on my training and focus on the beacons of light. Cassidy, Tricia, and I made our way to the red beacon of our dive master. It was then that he ended our dive, and we ascended together to the safety of the surface. Once we were back on the boat, I looked at my dive computer. For what seemed like an eternity, the unexpected chaos in the darkness of those waters was actually quite brief. We were only down 19 minutes. I was amazed at how short the dive actually was and how my feelings of the turmoil made it feel so long. Today, we heard the Transfiguration account in the Gospel of Mark. This is one of those stories that we actually hear more often than others. We always hear one version of it on the last Sunday of Epiphany, and we always hear the Lucan version in August when we celebrate the Feast of the Transfiguration. It is a rich text with multiple theological themes. Over the years, I have tried to tackle them all, or at least the ones that have been revealed. This time around, I was confronted with a new question. It was not about the importance of the mountain or the appearance of Elijah and Moses. It was not about the making of 3 dwelling places, the cloud that overshadowed them, God's message to the disciples, or Jesus' order of delayed revelation. What struck me was, why is the gospel on the Sunday before Ash Wednesday always the story of the Transfiguration? Why is this always the last gospel we hear before entering into the penitential season of Lent? In asking the question, I was drawn into my memory of my first night dive. During Lent, we are faced with the expected normalcy of everyday life as it is held in tension with the revelations that often show up during these 40 days. Lent is a time of deep self-reflection, and what is revealed can often leave us with a sense of unexpected chaos. The Transfiguration is a story in which Jesus is revealed as more than just human, but as a beacon of divine light, a light of hope and salvation within the chaos of the world. Jesus and the disciples could not stay on the holy mountain. The training Jesus had to offer us was not complete. He had more to teach us so that when we found ourselves in the darkness, we could turn and focus on what was most important, the lessons and training he had given us, and his radiant light to show us the way. Amen.